Welcome back to the Daily's Double Shot. I'm Andre Stackhouse.
And I'm Teresa Jackson. We have quite the lineup for you today.
Up first, we hang out in the quad and see what students are up to.
We hit up HuskyFest and see what it's all about.
Alan Yu talks Obamacare in our first episode of You and the Nation.
We stop by the UW surplus store and see what you can get on a budget.
David Chrisman enlightens us in his review of Pirates, Band of Misfits.
And we chat with UW freshman Eboni Davis about her experience on America's Next Top Model.
All coming up
on the Daily's Double Shot.
Ooh, what is that? Try to see.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. Okay.
Dude, how gorgeous has it been lately?
I know, seriously, it's been beautiful. I've been hanging out in the quad almost every day.
We have a segment all about the quad and how students enjoy it.
Roll it.
The quad. It's a large stretch of brick pathways and grass patches lined with cherry trees located near the center of the University of Washington's campus. Students and faculty members usually rush through the area in an effort to get to class and out of the Seattle rain. But on a sunny day, you can be sure to find lots of community members outside enjoying the scenic space.
The quad is definitely one of the most beautiful places on the University of Washington campus, especially during the springtime. The cherry blossoms become the main focus of many photographers' work, and the lawns become alive with students playing frisbee, and there's even an occasional student trying to get some studying done.
Have you seen anything unusual happening out here in the quad today?
I haven't seen it personally, but my friend told me around 3:30 there was a choir here and they were singing. I wasn't able to see it, but I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I've also seen like the human versus zombies, like right there. See that man, he's like running around. That's a little unusual.
I spoke with a student who was participating in the humans versus zombies game. He had a pretty interesting reason for roaming through the quad.
Well, I'm killing humans.
Killing humans, exactly what do you mean when you say that?
It's a canvas-wide game of tag. The headband means you're a zombie. If you see someone with an armband and a Nerf blaster, that means they're a human. And they try to survive the week. We try to kill them all.
So how do you kill someone exactly?
You just get a firm tag on them before they can hit you with a sock or a Nerf blaster.
I didn't get to witness any human zombie wars, but I did check out some amazing yo-yo action.
I noticed that you were doing a little yo-yoing earlier. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I'm the president of Edmonds Woodway Yo-Yo Club.
What brought you out to the quad today?
Just the cherry blossoms, and I just wanted to see them while they're still in bloom.
The 31 cherry trees in the quad are estimated to be about 60 to 75 years old. This is close to their natural lifespan of about 100 years, but not to worry, there is a plan in place to replace the trees when the time comes.
What brings you out to the quad today?
Well, it's so sunny and warm out that we thought we'd just come out and play some frisbee with our friends, before the weather goes back to usual Washington weather.
In addition to a few frisbee games and some happy dogs, apparently the area is also home to some criminal activity.
It's been rumored that before you graduate the UW, you're supposed to steal a brick from the quad. And as you can see here, this missing brick may have fell victim to the tradition. And it's not too difficult to remove these.
I promise I put the brick back after that demonstration. A big hole might have made it a little unsafe for these skateboarders to roll by.
What made you guys decide to come out to the quad today?
First of all, the weather was really nice, and I wanted to meet my friend. Yeah, we just wanted to catch up.
Well, I was just hanging out with some friends, and it's a nice sunny day out, so we decided to come out and take some pictures and just hang out and enjoy the nice sunny weather and the beautiful trees out here in the quad.
Whether people come to meet with friends or to take photos, the quad is a great place to get out and enjoy the nice weather. But don't take my word for it. Come and check it out for yourself. Reporting for the Daily's Double Shot, I'm Lauren Lemieux.
Once the sun comes out, we actually have a very lively campus.
Oh yeah, like that big event we had in Red Square last week.
Up next, we have a segment on UW's 150th birthday party, also known as HuskyFest.
Crews started setting up the pavilion a week before the first performer for HuskyFest hit the stage. Students saw the signs advertising HuskyFest, but some wondered what was occurring and why.
It's really a celebration of the University of Washington as well as our relationship to the community. You know, we've been around for a century and a half. The University of Washington has helped shape Seattle. Seattle has helped shape the University of Washington. And we have a huge number of our alumni who live in the area. Maybe they come back every now and then for a sporting event or something like that, but we want them to come back and really experience the University of Washington here in 2012. Mix with the students, have some fun walking around in the sun and just, you know, kind of celebrating the contributions of the university to the community and the contributions of the community to the university.
HuskyFest had all different types of events for everybody, from the Massive Monkeys, a breakdance crew from Season 4 of America's Best Dance Crew, to the Physics, a hip-hop group based in Seattle. From the luau put on by students, to solar-powered race car demonstrations courtesy of the UW Department of Chemistry and the Center for Materials and Devices for Information Technology.
To be able to come here and like perform, you know, do something that's like really fun. It's not like work or something that's like hard to do. It's like very easy to do, and I get to hang out with my friends and do it.
Lots of colleges, and this one in particular, have always had, you know, sometimes they call them parents' weekends. We used to call ours Washington Weekend, where we sort of encourage parents and alumni to come back to campus, and there's activities and plays and concerts and things like that. What makes this one a little bit different is we're really encouraging the people who live kind of in the Puget Sound area to come to campus as well.
I think the performance is great. Like, I love the UW. We've been here like, this is I think our second or third time being here this year, so it's always hella fun to come here and perform for UW. So I had a great time. Hope to be back soon.
What most students don't know about HuskyFest is that not only were events on campus, but in different regions of the state and completely separate states, alumni happy hours were held in Tacoma, San Diego, Las Vegas, and Hawaii.
We did a lot of this during W Day, where we encouraged UW alums to kind of wear purple. We hope that they're getting together and gathering and using this as another great opportunity to celebrate the University of Washington's 150th birthday.
So after the pavilion is gone and all the music has stopped, does the administration feel like HuskyFest will happen again?
It's certainly an event that we conceived and kind of crafted as part of our 150th celebration, and I guess the next 3 days of fun and excitement will help us determine whether or not it's something that we can mount every year. I think we clearly would like to do it, but obviously there's costs associated with these things, and a lot of staff time went into preparing this and executing it. So we'll huddle after it's over and hopefully be excited about trying to put something like this together every year.
So if the administration does decide to hold HuskyFest next year, what types of events would they have? We don't know, but we know it will be a collaboration between the university and the community.
Well, it looks like HuskyFest was a blast.
Up next, Alan Yu talks all about Obamacare in our new political segment, You in the Nation.
Hi, I'm Alan Yu, a political science major here at the University of Washington. We're here today to talk about politics. Behind me right here is the home of the political science department, Gowan Hall. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside it. This is Gowan 301, the room where the ASUW Senate meets and makes decisions which affect the entire UW community of about 40,000 people. Each senator casts votes back with the legitimacy gained from being popularly elected. How would you feel if the lawmaking function of the ASUW Senate was taken away and given to a group of 9 people, unelected, serving life terms, lacking the need to take popular will into account? This is exactly what is happening right now with respect to health care insurance legislation. The Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, is being challenged by almost 30 states that accuse the law of being unconstitutional. The constitutional question addressed by both parties in this case is whether or not the government can require individuals to purchase health insurance under Congress's power stated in the Constitution's Commerce Clause, which states that Congress has the authority, quote, to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states, and with the Indian tribes. I am deeply disturbed by these events, not because the law is good or bad policy. That is something truly debatable. Rather, it is because the court has been involved in a purely political issue. The court does have a role in deciding the validity of laws, but its decisions are made with the Constitution as its guide. Such cases involve constitutional clauses which might not spell out specific laws as unconstitutional, but are nonetheless clearer than something like the Commerce Clause. In this case, the court has been asked to review Obamacare in light of the Commerce Clause, one of the vaguest parts of the Constitution that was likely meant to allow Congress broad powers regarding economic regulation, rather than restrict its authority. In such cases, particularly those falling under the umbrella of economic policy, like Obamacare, the court should allow legislation unless it conflicts with other parts of the Constitution, more specifically related to civil liberties of individuals. That is, more specific constitutional clauses that restrict rather than grant powers to Congress. By yielding to the court the decision of whether or not the law should be kept on the books, Congress, state legislatures, and other elected offices are making the court do the work of a legislature. They are greatly expanding its power by allowing it to decide political questions, not constitutional ones only. Such a move is not how our democracy should work. The legislature and the judiciary are given separate jobs. They are not to rely on the other to do its dirty work, as the legislature has done to the judiciary in this case. There are very compelling arguments for and against Obamacare, but when the constitutional question is exceedingly ambiguous, as is the case here in the Obamacare hearing, the decision of whether or not the law should be policy must be left to the legislature, not the judiciary. I know that it can be difficult to wait for a nation's majority to elect a Congress and a president which shares a particular view, but this is how our democracy works. Until someone comes up with a better plan for elected government that our nation accepts, we should continue to allow elected officials to make political decisions and the judiciary to make constitutional ones. I'm Alan Yu. Thanks for listening. If you have a political topic that you'd like Doubleshot to cover, please email us at doubleshot@dailyuw.com.
Well, there's certainly a lot to keep in mind when it comes to legislation like that. Healthcare is expensive stuff.
Well, if you're on a budget, you can always do your shopping at the UW surplus store.
Oh, I've heard of that place. That's that place where they take stuff from all over campus and resell it for really cheap, right?
Watch and find out.
If you are looking to furnish a dorm, apartment, or house, find supplies in bulk, or are just looking for an odd assortment of random things, you may want to consider hitting up the UW Surplus Store. Located right across from U Village on 25th Avenue Northeast, the Surplus Store resells anything that was formerly purchased by the state but is no longer needed. For instance, when Mercer was destroyed last year, all of the beds were sold here at the Surplus Store. The facility is open to UW departments throughout the entire week and to the general public on Tuesdays from noon to 6 p.m. We spoke with program coordinator and marketer for the UW Surplus Store, Eric Wall, for a little more information on what exactly is sold.
Most popular items, well, chairs, definitely, especially when you see what office chairs retail for. Sometimes hundreds of dollars can be kind of obscene, and when you're on a budget, it's nice to be able to come in and take a look at the range of things that we get every single day.
I came to the surplus store today to buy a chair because they're kind of cheaper here than anywhere else. I've come here looking for chairs before, but there weren't any good ones when I came earlier. But online, I saw one that I kind of wanted to pick up. So, like when I came here last time looking for stuff, I came here looking for certain things and ended up just looking at everything. And they have tons of stuff like computers and monitors, and sometimes they have random types of clothing from the sports team. So it's actually really interesting to come down here and see what they have.
I'm here at the surplus today because I like old photography and just 35mm everything. So I was just sort of perusing the shelves to see if maybe they had any old camera gear, film, lenses, anything really. And then I suppose if I find other photography gear, that would be kind of cool to check out and maybe pick up.
Office items, desks, filing cabinets especially. And one nice thing is that we get a lot of older to antique versions of all of those things. And weekly we'll see stuff that we're just amazed that a department didn't realize they had. We just got a very rare, we found out, baby grand piano last week from Condon Hall. It looks very much like the other pianos that we have in here right now. But when we did research about the maker, a maker I was not familiar with, Mason and Hamlin, turns out that it's a very rare piano. They make very few of them each year. So that sits alongside in this warehouse with, you know, $5 chairs and tables. And these things coexist pretty nicely side by side, I think. I look at it as a room full of opportunities, especially for somebody that wants to entirely redo an office or even a house.
Not only does the surplus store serve the state and community, but it also prides itself on the work it has done for the environment.
The great thing about what we do is we take in anything that any department or any of the med centers don't need anymore. We pick those things up. We try as much as possible to keep those things out of landfills, which is kind of our biggest challenge, but also our biggest area for opportunity. This is one thing that people like to spend money on. They like saving money and getting good deals on stuff that they can reuse and knowing that they're keeping things out of a landfill. So it's a thriving environment here that definitely feels like a family, like a community, and we love every Tuesday getting to meet the kinds of people that come in and can make use of these things and give us ideas about ways to reuse things and recycle things and upcycle things. So it's a great sort of like mutually fulfilling place to work.
So, next time you want to get some real deals, furnish a room, or just pick up some odd assortments, think about stopping by the UW Surplus Store.
So what do you think? Can your budget handle the UW Surplus Store?
Not quite. I still think I'll have to pillage and plunder and scavenge some of the stuff I want. Life as a pirate's a little more affordable.
I think there are some hidden costs there, like having your ship sunk by the British Navy.
I hadn't considered that. Maybe instead, we should just watch David Crispin's review of Pirates, Band of Misfits.
Hello, I'm David Crispin, and this is Film Focus. Today we're looking at Pirates, Band of Misfits, directed by Peter Lord and Jeff Newitt, and starring Hugh Grant. Pirates, Band of Misfits is a comedy by the creators of Wallace and Gromit and Chicken Run. The movie tells the story of a captain of a pirate ship, named Pirate Captain, as he and his crew attempt to win the coveted Pirate of the Year award, along the way running into a young Charles Darwin, voiced by David Tennant, and the pirate-hating Queen Victoria, voiced by Imelda Staunton. Since the movie is a mix of claymation and animation, we do not see the actors themselves, and instead their performances are confined to voice acting. Martin Freeman, voicing Pirate Captain's second-in-command, Pirate with a Scarf, rounds out the main cast. Overall, the voice acting is adequate. It's not revolutionary, but to be honest, I didn't expect it to be. One thing I did find out about the movie was the billing order, whose names get put in the credits first and are considered the stars of the film. Neither Martin Freeman nor David Tennant were given high billing, in favor of Selma Hayek and Jeremy Piven, who play minor parts at best. While it's not something that most people would be bothered by, it seems an odd choice by the producers of the film. The movie itself is fairly unremarkable in most ways. It's a comedy, which I'll be the first to admit is not my favorite genre of film, but even then it doesn't really stand out all that much. Sure, the animation is good, but it hasn't really advanced that much since the first Wallace and Gromit film was being made in 1989. The addition of traditional animation does add a little bit more dynamism to the way the film looks, though. It's also in 3D, something I was not expecting going in. Pirates uses the technology in pretty much the same way as every other animated film that's in 3D these days. There's a mix of using the technology to provide a sense of depth to the film, and the more traditional things flying out of screen method. The use to create depth is far more effective, but as the film progresses, this becomes fewer and far between, something that is somewhat a shame. I guess that since this is the first time I've looked at a 3D movie, now is a good time to give my opinion on the technology. Overall, I tend to consider 3D to be somewhat of a gimmick, but one that can be used effectively given the right circumstances. While some people believe that 3D will become the new standard in years to come, I don't really agree with them. While it does add another aspect to the film and something to think about, I don't think it adds enough to make it a permanent addition to the world of movies. Being able to create and play with a sense of depth in film is certainly something that's interesting, but I believe that we still haven't discovered the best ways to use 3D yet. Pirates, Band of Misfits is a fairly standard comedy. It's not really all that funny in my opinion, but I have been accused of disliking comedies in general. The voice acting is solid, but not noteworthy. The combination of claymation, animation, and 3D is certainly an interesting one, and one that works, but it doesn't push any of the technologies involved. The use of 3D gives me hope for the future of it, since it is used to create depth, which is the more interesting aspect of it. Really though, Pirates Band of Misfits is mediocre. There are better things to watch in theaters right now. Pirates Band of Misfits was opened today, the 27th, and will be released on DVD later this year.
Trey, I have something important to ask you.
Okay.
And I want you to be honest with me, like brutally honest.
What is it?
Do you think I have what it takes to be America's Next Top Model?
Andre, you're very talented, and I think you would, except you'd probably lose to UW freshman Eboni Davis. She's just a little more glamorous.
Hey, my name's Austin Siedentoff, and earlier I had the opportunity to speak with Seattle local, UW student, and contestant on America's Next Top Model, Eboni Davis. Let's take a look. Okay. Eboni, thank you very much for coming to meet with us today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, how did you begin your career in modeling?
I started modeling a little over a year ago. I turned 18 and I was like, I want to do something with my life, you know, just like go for something. And a lot of people had always told me, oh, you're really like tall and stuff, you should be a model. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to an open call at my like local agency, Seattle Models Guild, where I'm signed now, and just see what they have to say. And I was all nervous and stuff. I'm like, they're not gonna pick me, you know, whatever. But they did. I got signed on the spot, and so I've been working with them ever since.
So, now that you're a student as well and you're a model, is there any sort of difficulty in balancing the two worlds? Are you still looking for work while you're learning here?
Yeah, there is a lot of difficulty balancing the two. It's like I'll have a midterm and papers and all that stuff due, and at the same time I still am working a lot. I try to make my schedule so that I can do both, but sometimes it gets hard and I kind of have to pick between the two. And I don't really feel like I'm sacrificing much of each. I'm really sacrificing my sleep and like my me time, but I don't mind it because I mean, both of those things are extremely important to me, so.
Very cool. Now, could you please tell us a bit about America's Next Top Model and how you became involved with that and what that was like?
So the auditions were near Seattle at a shopping mall, and my mom was like, you're gonna audition. I'm like, no, I don't want to audition. She's like, yes, I'm taking you. I'm like, fine, okay, whatever, you can take me. And I go there and there's like hundreds of girls lined up, and you know, there's a lot of beautiful girls and stuff, so I'm like, you know, what are the chances? What are the odds? I might as well do it, make my mom happy, and like maybe she'll go home and cook me dinner or something. I don't know, you know, might as well just put a smile on her face. So I go through the audition, and I heard back. I got a phone call. And so I flew out to LA for a second audition, and then I got called back again. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, is this really happening to me? And so then there was another audition. By that point, there was about 40 girls left.
So this is your third audition?
My third audition. I flew back to LA. This is the final audition. Like, after you make it through this, you're in. And I'm like, I'm not making it through this. Like, they're gonna send me home, you know what I mean? But I made it through.
So what was working on the show like? Did you have to move down to LA for those months?
Yeah, so I lived in LA. I lived in the house with the girls that's on the show. I was the youngest person in the house.
You were 18?
Yeah, so and it was just weird. Like, I had been watching the show since middle school, and I'm just hoping like it wouldn't get canceled or something, you know, before I turned 18 and I could go on it. And like as soon as I turn 18, I'm on it. I'm like, this is like a dream, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm living someone else's life. Even to this day, when I watch myself on television, I'm like, that's not me. That can't be me. I couldn't have been that cool, like, you know, to be on TV. I think that's really cool, you know what I mean? But just like going through the experience at the time, it was just like eye-opening. I met so many amazing people that I'd never even dreamed of like meeting, you know what I mean? Just, it was a great experience.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I appreciate everyone who's watching and supporting me, rooting for me. Like, you guys really mean a lot to me, you know, having fans and people who support me and people who come up to me on campus and they're like, are you Eboni from America's Next Top Model? I'm like, I'm still taken back by it. Like, am I Eboni from America's Next Top Model? You know what I mean? Because it's like, I just think of myself as Eboni, like the college student, or Eboni, like, just, you know, chill, laid back, not Eboni from America's Next Top Model. So it's like, whenever people come up to me and say that, it's like, yeah, I am. Yeah, that's right. You know,
That's really cool.
It's really cool.
All right, well, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming on. You can follow Eboni on Twitter at @thatmodel_EB and help her finish out the current season of America's Next Top Model. Reporting for the Dailies Double Shot, I'm Austin Siedentoff.
Yeah, you're probably right. I would lose to her. Plus, I don't know if I can deal with all that drama in the top model house.
Well, that's all we have for you this week.
Catch us Fridays at 9:30 p.m. or Saturdays at 7 p.m. for more episodes.
Or watch full episodes and extra content at youtube.com/thedaily.
Thanks for watching.
I'm Teresa Jackson.
And I'm Andre Stackhouse.
We'll see you next time
on the Daily's Double Shot.